Go ahead and bring in Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross. Bryan, you heard it right there from Mike. I mean, it is looking so much better. We've seen the ebbs and flows of the week, right, and really peaking yesterday. Now, Erin, it's about to hightail it out of here.
It's already hightailing it away, but it has stirred up the ocean in such a big way that we still have dangerous currents and very high surf and so forth out there. And just to echo what Mike said, when you look at this track, yes, it was closer to North Carolina than Bermuda, but the storm was smaller on the North Carolina side than it was on the Bermuda side. So it's almost like it tried to figure out exactly where it could go to have the minimum impacts on both sides of it. The nature of storms moving north is they're always bigger on the right side than they are on the left side. So it really was miraculous, and thank goodness that this thing didn't impact any land. You can see it's getting funny looking out here. It's getting to look more like a comma because its tropical days are very, very short. In fact, it's down to less than 1 day. Still estimated 90-mile-an-hour winds in the circulation. There you see that northeast movement is picking up, moving at 22. Pressure is slowly coming up, but still, by any normal standard, 956 is a low pressure, but that energy is spread out over nearly 700 miles of tropical storm force winds, 690 miles across tropical storm force winds. Just as a gauge of comparison, Sandy, which was the biggest measured, was 1,000 miles or so across. So this wasn't a Sandy scale, but it was bigger than almost every other storm coming up from the south in that general area in the record book. So this was a really unusual and fortunate storm. So here's what we're left with this morning is there's the storm out there, and you can see where the winds are coming from the north. And by the way, that's why it's a beautiful morning in New York City. It's in the 60s and the humidity is low because it's acting like it's pulling a cold front through. And that's what's happening is the storm is wrapping up and turning into more a wintertime type storm because it's interacting with the cool air now. But it has the ocean so agitated that all the way up to the Canadian border and all the way down south of the Delmarva Peninsula, all the way down to the Tidewater, there's high surf advisories out there. So, which is an alert that the surf is still dangerous, and it will be through today and a good part of tomorrow, I think, or maybe tomorrow, and then Sunday it should be getting better. So this is what we ended up with at Duck. This is what Mike and I were looking at earlier. They technically call it a major flood stage, but there's only a half a foot between major and moderate there and moderate and minor. So I don't know exactly what that means. Same thing at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel here. They called that being in major flood stage. The point is, all up and down the coast, the water came up, it came in, it did some things, but to the best of our knowledge, no big damage up and down the coast, but some areas were flooded, especially places that are normally tend to flood when you get high water. This is above, these numbers are all above the normal high tide level, so 3.5 feet. That's pretty significant. So here's where we are today. There's where the energy is in the water, and it's moving on out. These are the high tides this morning. We get past these high tides. Some of them are gone already. Montauk's still to go. And there's the storm. And here's the front. Look. Here's the cold air coming down, wrapping around there. There's a front developing there. As soon as they convince themselves there's a real front, then it's no longer tropical. The winds will let up today. Watch where it goes. It's going to Europe, and it's going to sit out here, and that's why the cone looks funny, but then it may very well come in as a non-tropical storm into Great Britain or France in about 8 or 9 days. So they are going to get to experience a little bit of Erin as well.